Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It is time for game number 2 of the finals. Here it's a best of 3 series. Eager actually dropping game 1, so fan favorites still fighting for this overall series to help ensure their first seed overall for the North American Challenger Cup. It could come down to this one game here. Game number 2. I'm Poseidon here with Adonis once again, as bans are already coming out.
Yep, same bans as last time. We see Xbalanque banned out by Eager, and Bastet Sylvanas taken out by Return here. I'll be interested to see if they go for the same first pick here. I believe it was Bots last time, who actually was very effective, but no, it's Thor. So they had to deal with the hard counter engages coming out from Grishank's Thor last game. They're going to look to do the exact opposite and take that for themselves there. I'm wondering now, with Thor picked up, if they're going to pick up that Isis as well. Or excuse me, Cloud will pick up Isis. No, it's going to be Poseidon and Athena, both highlighted. Both very good against Thor. Athena's able to taunt out the hammer. Taunt out the Berserker's Barrage, and Poseidon with that Cripple Whirlpool able to lock him in place.
Ooh, the Poseidon hover is actually being swapped over to Jean. Poseidon hover is actually being left on Jean. Poseidon is being swapped all over the place. They can't make up their mind what they want Cloud to be playing in game number 2. We'll see what they actually end up deciding on here. Their timer is running down, so they're going to have to pick up something here very shortly. And as they swap all the stuff, the different stuff at the last second, it is going to be Poseidon locked in. Athena, they're going to let that one go away here potentially as they locked in Geb as their support again.
I'm a little surprised at that. I actually think the Athena here would have worked. It works very well against Thor to begin with. In addition, Athena, very strong early game. Defender of Olympus, able to make you go across the map, basically. As Xbalanque is actually highlighted over here for Dare to Care, and that is locked in. So Nevin, who played fantastically last game, who probably, I don't want to say carried them because they all played well, but Nevin in the late game, we said that his damage was the only one that mattered for Return, and he showed up doing 50,000 damage in that game. So they're going to take that Xbalanque away from Nevin, and they're also going to lock in Raw as well.
That would have been interesting. Going back, I believe it was week number 2. Eagle were running a very, very deadly Jean-Qui Nemesis combo. Lassus was going crazy on Jean-Qui. Dare to Care was just running amok with Nemesis. It was getting to be absolutely disgusting. They haven't played it since then. Falling back to some other gods, Ra being played by Lassus would be very good. Could potentially be thrown over to the solo lane for Anatoly as well. But in that mid lane, you typically do not want to be picking in an Agony into a Poseidon. That Whirlpool can cause all sorts of crazy little havoc. You know, suddenly, oh, I'm going to clear the way with my Path of Flames, and suddenly I'm standing in the middle of the Whirlpool. That didn't work out quite like I expected.
For sure, especially with how aggressive it seems that Lassus likes to go on Agni.
F-Dot's about to be very happy.
Is that a Hu-Yeezus? That's what Allied calls Hu-Yeezus locked in here. Yeah, this is. I haven't seen much Hu-Yi play in general. Not even in normal games, not even in ranked games, let alone SPL and Challenger Cup games. So I'll be interested to see how this works. He's going to be landing with the Geb. That is a very, very weak early game push. That is a very weak early game push coming out from that lane.
There's some options. Sylvanas was banned out, so no really, really powerful wave clear coming out. They took away Athena. There's some options for some very aggressive support still on the table for Eager to pick up if they want to go that route. Aurora has been pretty much sticking to Geb and Sylvanas, though, so he's going to be going a little bit deeper in the God pool than we have been seeing so far. We'll have to see what he responds with in that regards. But looks like the final ban of the game for Eager is going to be Hun Bats. Return took the Athena off the table. Hu-Yi early on, he received that buff to his 1. There's no more wind-up time on that, so it's quite, just pop it, shoot it. It's all nice and simple and straightforward, and it works out quite well, especially if you can get some good ricochets off, which some parts of the map
for sure
can work well, but the map is kind of bumpy. It can be sometimes difficult to get the ricochet to cooperate and go where you want it to.
Yep, but a Kali locked in for Grishank here, so Hu-Yi early game is absolutely terrible. He has a slow attack speed, his 1 doesn't fully clear, but late game, his ult does a lot. He has a lot of zoning potential with that. I don't even know what the ability is called. That's how little I've seen him played. It's Sunbreaker. So Sunbreaker coming through, going to do a lot. But Kali also late game incredibly strong. Geb late game really strong. So we see Return here. They went for a pretty early game, mid game team fight last time. Now looking for the late game as Tyr gets locked in on the other side and Bacchus highlighted.
He's going to have a Tyr locked in as well. Tyr is going to be an absolute bully over there. I'm just double checking. Yeah, it's going to be Anatoly more likely than not playing Tyr in the solo lane. Tyr gets to just be this monster who gets up in the front line, gets in the back line, and just never leaves because, well, he's moving everyone around, he's healing constantly, and he's just being an absolute menace in the middle of a fight. So they have an option here to pick up one more god. They still need to find themselves possibly a jungler, possibly a solo laner. If they can get Kali rolling quickly, they could look to just shut this game down very, very early. Going back a couple weeks, was it Dare to Care? It was either Eager or Legion who picked up Kali in one of the earlier weeks, got first blood, got like 2-3 early kills on Kali, and the game was just like pretty much over in the first 5 minutes. This is...
They're highlighting Loki, and they actually lock it in. So a Loki last pick coming out from return, their team comp is very pick-oriented. You have the Poseidon, big single target, or not single, it's a... Kraken is big, but you're primarily hitting one person with it most of the times. You're just trying to kill someone. Kali, kill one person, it's a chain based off her passive. And then Loki, once again, another assassin that's going to all-in someone and try and kill them. So multiple gods that are trying to all-in. And they do have good protect on Eager, though. They have the Tyr, they have the Thor, and they have the Bacchus. All gods with really strong protect against those single targets.
Indeed. So there's going to be some interesting matchups in this game, guys. The anti-ghost timer has already ticked down, so we can jump straight into the match. We're going to cut to a quick little minute or so break, get synced up, get all the gods reorganized, and all those things we have to do before we can bring you the second game here. It's going to be Eager fighting to keep themselves in this best-of-3 series up against Return, who took game number 1. So we'll be back here in just about a minute, guys. Enjoy the music. We'll see you in a bit. Alright, guys, we are back. It is time for game number 2. Return took game number 1 over fan-favorite Eager. Eager fighting to secure themselves first place in the North American Challenger Cup. If they turn this game into a 3-game series overall, they could still walk away first seed this week, but Return want to close this game out, or series out rather, in a 2-0 sweep. If they can do it, Eager will be fighting for the extra $1,000 next week, so Donis, this is going to be a pretty big game here for both Eager and Return, because Return can get a lot.
This is important for Return. They need to pick this up to keep themselves relevant, potentially better seeding points, and make sure to basically secure a spot here for the summer relegations. But something I want to point out right away, heavy hammer here, and that was spotted out though by Return, and you see Poseidon positioning. This is a great choice by Poseidon. They're going to run the 3-man on the speed instead to counter the invade that they know is coming, because Tyr has heavy hammer. I mean, the Tyr Thor combo is just incredibly strong, so they're going to run the extra man there to try and force that away. And there it is. Yeah, they see that Poseidon's here now. They're a little bit... I don't think they should go on this. They might though.
It would be pretty risky. Whirlpool was just dropped down. With that out of the way, right now that does free these guys up for look for the invade. Fearless into the wall, did catch Gersheng as well. Handed the guys drop down. Not sure who got that. It will be Dare to keep picking that one up. Anatoly finds first blood onto Gersheng, looking for Salt Machine for second blood as well. They're going to find that one. That did not end too well for Return. Clow, one more hit. Can they find
Hammer
it?
Tap. Hammer tap. No.
Needed the double. Single was not enough. But that was risky. As soon as that Whirlpool was down, that was all that would have deterred Eager from them doing that invade properly. Surrender vote actually already coming out. They have a very big early game comp. I don't think they're necessarily out of this one yet, but they definitely have a little bit of an uphill battle ahead of themselves just to kind of to get around this little bit of a misstep that happened here at the beginning.
It's going to be rough. Actually, Clow in a bad spot too as Lassus rotates in.
Oh no.
All he needs is one beam to finish him off, but Clow is going to dodge in, and now actually Lassus could get turned on if he's not careful here. He should be okay though. He's going to get stunned out. Is Whirlpool up? Whirlpool is not up. Lassus is going to heal up and go back to his tower. But I want to go back to that huge misplay by Clow there. The second he used the Whirlpool, what was going to stop it? The point of him being there was if they were going to fight, Lassus and Anatoly were going to fight, they were going to be deterred by the third person, but he wasted his only ability that could have stopped it. I don't like Return's idea to actually even go on the speed buff, I think.
Mid lane Cloud
gets
trouble.
Really low. Yeah, he's going to fall a little bit out of position there. But that was a huge misplay to try and start that speed buff instead of basically waiting for Dare to Care and Anatoly to be forced back in the lane.
Yeah, they wouldn't have lost anything. Basically, it would come down to we can stand here as 3 members. Lassus, the issue would have really been Lassus mid lane. He could push that late wave to the tower, get ahead, get a very good start over Cloud in the mid lane. That would have been the real issue. I don't know. It would have been interesting to see how he's played it out. Really, Eager lost nothing by not going to the solo lane. They could just stand there as long as the enemy jungle and solo stood there as well. So, and then once, eventually, Cloud would have had to go mid lane to not let Lassus just be free farming for wave after wave. So, I don't know. It was a rough spot for Return, even if they hadn't misplayed it with that early Whirlpool drop down. But nevertheless, 3 kills on the board already for Eager, just 2 minutes 25 seconds into the game. They have a couple gods on the side of return who need to get that early ball rolling, and as things stand, Eager are the ones looking to gain control early and run away with this one.
Yep, they invaded the red buff on that left-hand side after they picked up Clow in the middle, so they're continuing to put on the pressure here. They're already 1,800 ahead. 3 minutes in, not even 3 minutes in. That's pretty crazy for them. As we see Dare to Care once again, he's even counter jungling the back harpies, or excuse me, grabbing his own back harpies, and going to be looking to farm up a little. Actually, Cloud could be in a lot of trouble here if elects to go on him. No, but Lass is not in position to follow up there. Aurora secures the left camps, while Grishank grabs the right.
Yeah, 1-4 on those. Right side, Salt Machine in a lot of trouble. Anatoly is looking for this kill. Vanish gonna buy Salt Machine just enough time to avoid that 1 or 2 last attacks coming in to secure that kill. Anatoly, though, is looking like he might just want to freeze this wave right now. Salt Machine has to go back to base anyway. This is actually a nice little play. Make sure the Archer minions from the next wave aren't under the tower hiding where Anatoly can't kill them. Just last hit for now. No reason to push the wave at the moment. He's not looking to go back to base right now. He did already. He has the boots. He has the blink. So he's more than content just to farm up here for the moment. And once Salt Machine does return, he might look to pick up teleport, get back to lane quickly, and not miss much. Left side does that man in trouble.
Could be in a ton of trouble. There's that combo. Sunbreaker will pick up the kill. Great stun in it, though. Fantastic play. Sunbreaker does a lot, but the big problem is it's hard to hit all of them, right? But with that stun combo coming out with Grishank and Neva in there, they do pick up Zapman, who actually wasn't at the other team's tower line. He was at his own.
Yeah. So a little bit too far forward without a support there to help him out. Has mid lane a little bit of a grouping. Lassus being raw, pushing that wave to tower. Cloud in the spot trouble. Belly flop coming in from raw. Searing Pain connects. Not gonna need that Anvil of Dawn. Thor just gonna get him there. Just see the sights, then drop back down. Maybe some harpies, maybe some minions, maybe a speed buff invade, because why not do it again? Grishank is aware of this one rather. Salt Machine coming over to help this one out, but Eager are looking to collapse in and rotate and find this full-on steal. Wubbin, Grishank, and Salt Machine gonna have a rough fight in this 3v4, but Dare's low.
Yeah, Dare's taking a lot of damage, but he knows that no one has the follow-up to really finish him off. Meanwhile, Grishank taking a ton here. Destruction's forced out. I don't know who his target is, but he's not anywhere close to killing anyone. His jump, he can't get it off. Body blocked into the wall there. Just wasn't at the right angle to hit the jump. Meanwhile, Lassus going to take a crack into the face and survive it. Aurora getting low. Cloud looking for a whirlpool that keeps anyone in place.
Looking for more nice 3-man Fearless coming out from Anatoly. He's pretty much out of mana right now, though. There's the whirlpool. There's Assassinator trying to lock this down and find a kill for themselves. Rollout coming out from Wubbin. Belch of the Gods going to say, no good, sir. You're not going to kill my solo laner. He is going to blink away safely, recall back to base, heal up, and then look to do more shenanigans over in the right lane. So ready, heavy hammer plus just boots. And Anatoly's already becoming a little bit of a monster. A 3-man Fearless is nice at the best of times. Had he had mana, he could have potentially looked to fight that one as the rotation was coming in from the rest of his team.
For sure. And Dare to Care, actually, we see a pods come out from Team Return. Dare to Care setting up for a gank. It looks on Hu Yi, who with no wards is very unsuspecting of this unless he has the game sense to recognize that Dare to Care has rotated over to the left. But that last fight was all the experience lead. I mean, the gold right now is 2,500, but that's not really spelling for too much. It's half an item here, maybe an active, but the experience lead, the fact that his abilities are doing hundreds of more damage, that's what's the big play right now for Team Eager.
Indeed. Yeah, right now, Return are going to have a rough road ahead of themselves. Grishank not really getting those early kills he needs. He has an assist. It's a little bit. It helps. I don't expect we'll be seeing that kin size rush. It was nerfed down a little bit in Season 2. There's some other viable builds. You go for Executioner first. Ichival as well, another nice big pickup. Nevin using the, whatever the heck Ho-Yi's 3 is, to get away from that possible aggression coming out from those guys. Like I said, Ho-Yi, I haven't played him much, haven't seen him play much, don't know the abilities. But they're looking to counter-engage. Grishank, Stone Shield, avoid that stun from the Darkest of Nights. They're going to look to disengage. With mid-harpies respawning here in a moment as well. Aurora may not be here for these, so this could be an opportunity for Return to pick themselves up a nice little tasty treat on either side of the mid lane, but Lassus wants to fight, and Searing Pain's a pretty good ultimate as far as securing / stealing away mid-harpy camps.
Yep. Cloud will grab these right camps, it looks like, and Grishank.
Right lane, Salt Machine getting caught out by Anatoly. That was a rough one.
Anatoly's just controlling this lane. Ever since he picked up that first blood, there really hasn't been much he could do. He has Heartseeker online, Teleport 1, but it looks like he just used his Teleport to get in a lane. Searing Pain coming out in middle. Not going to connect, though. So Teleport down for 200 seconds coming out from this Loki, and he only has Boots 1. So with that heavy hammer, in addition to that, there's not much he can do. Looks like a little bit of fight mid lane. Is Thor going to dive this?
He might look for it. There's going to be a 3-man stun if he comes in. It is going to be. That's a big one. Spin to win. Not going to be able to answer one back. Xbalanque with the destruction ultimate. Going to deny that kill. Aurora, however, with 3 members of Return there, they went for the big, huge play, and the damage coming out from Return was more than enough to turn that one upside down on its head. That could have been a huge play, though, had that, I mean, just Derek found a 3-man Anvil of Dawn. Unfortunately, he was suddenly very much alone and couldn't really follow up on it anymore.
He actually had a chance to kill the Kali there, but missed his second auto attack swing to secure the kill. After that, she was able to get destruction off before Berserker's barrage went through. And then Derek looking for the snipe, though, just barely mistimed the end of the destruction ult to his hammer. Over in this left lane, Nevin taking a lot of damage. I mean, Xbalanque, who normally has a bad clear, is actually going to be able to fight Nevin pretty well there. And actually, Dive-Bomb coming out, that man's going to get knocked up there. He's going to be stuck in the ultimate, but just walk out. Like, that. Yeah. The Sunbreaker ultimate is really good, but if you can't, you know, crowd control someone in it, it doesn't do much.
Exactly. Wubbin now getting chased down by both Aurora and Lassus. The Searing Pain will not connect. It's a little tricky to hit when you don't actually have crowd control to lock somebody down. So with that, it's going to be a little bit of a watch here in the duo lane. Gold Fury is still up and available. Neither team has really looked to start that one up right now. But if they spot Wubbin going back to base and realize he's not here, Wrath of the Gods, actually, they may not look for it. Wrath of the Gods is not yet available for Eager. It is, however, for Wubbin. He'll have it available once he gets back into the left-hand side jungle. So they could potentially look for a Gold Fury fight here. But Eager seem more than content to just continue doing what they're doing. They're heavily warding up the return side of the jungle. They're just looking for picks, looking for constant invades, just slowly but surely starting to build up their gold lead without really focusing on any big objectives.
Yeah, I actually like this choice, but great reaction coming out from Return to immediately go for the gold tier after they saw the invade was coming out. But after that, we did see Derek recognize it. He's up in the air. Is he going to be able to come down and steal it? He actually doesn't. Return secures that, but they could lose 4.
They are in the spot trouble. Cloud finds that second kill of this, falls second kill of the fight. Zatman picks that one up. Backside of it, a lot of damage came down. Thor found another beautiful Anvil of Dawn for a multiple number of stuns and a pick in the mid lane. Xbalanque, not really a lazy back, just an unfortunate position with people still roaming around looking to kill him and accomplishing exactly that task. So with that, Return, they got the Gold Fury, so gold, you know, a little bit back towards their favor, but with that tier 1 tower getting picked up, plus that experience lead from those couple of kills, Eager kind of overall won that.
For sure. I mean, you see the huge dip in the gold charts. 3,000, though, in favor of Eager after they brought it right back up. Return took a little bit there, but they're also going to be losing a lot since they were dead. They weren't in position to be able to get that farm. Nevin gonna keep trying to farm up here as buffs are about to spawn coming out from Eager, and they continue to take almost every single mid camp on rotation. Return really need to pick up some of these to try and inch their way back into the game.
Yeah, definitely. Left side, Derek roaming around, stopping the attack speed buff from getting taken, at least forcing a reset as a grouping comes out. Eager may look for this invade. There are wards down. Double top knocking deck, but will actually find the steal. That might have been intentional. Darkest of Nights pop for good measure from Zatman, but he is roaming around. They might look for the fight. Aurora just kind of showing some presence. Over in that solo lane, a little bit of a back and forth at this point. Salt Machine able to clear the wave in one decoy, not really having too much issues anymore against Anatoly. He's able to play safe, but that tier 1 tower did fall, which does mean Anatoly is pretty much free to roam around the map as he pleases.
Yeah, and Anatoly is actually electing to go teleport as well with Blink, so he doesn't have Hog, which we typically see coming out from tiers. They won't have that secondary Hog that you normally like to see the bruisers pick up, but Anatoly just zoning out Loki from his own speed. Zoning out 2, actually, from his own, blue buff.
Cloud was just caught left side. Anvil of Dawn coming down from Thor as well, looking to find another kill into Nevin. He's going to use that dive bomb to run away. Good tectonic grip, double tap, not going to find a kill. Good shield from Wubbin, but he's in a bad spot. Sunbreaker coming down, not going to be enough to save him. The damage knock right there. Wubbin almost finding an Aurora, but he was able to sneak his way back out of tower. Lassus has arrived. Xbalanque has as well, but it's a 2v5. Xbalanque just exploded as Wubbin gets cleaned up by Lassus and Zatman with the help of that Searing Pain coming from Lassus. So with that, it looks like Return going to throw in the towel for game number 2. They went for that big not hyper carry, but big, we have to get these guys built up and then they're going to absolutely shred it in team fights composition, and they just really never got rolling.
Yeah, they had two gods that needed a lot of farm and a lot of time to come online in Kali and Loki.
Hmm.
If they were going to go a Loki solo, I would have liked to see them go a more early game or mid game jungler, but it wasn't able to work out. And we saw that invade coming out from tier. Eager knew they're like, we have an early game team fight with this tier and with
Yeah.
this Thor, and you have a Loki Kali. There's absolutely no way you can fight me. Picks up the heavy hammer and walks into their speed buff, lets them start it, and then steals it and kills two.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the beginning to end for this one. They never really were able to answer back in that particular to that particular early game invade. Salt Machine was having a rough time against Anatole in the solo lane, mid lane as well. Cloud was just constantly getting pressured, having to play very conservatively. In a lane, let's face it, Rob would just continuously push that wave forward. Poseidon has good wave clear, but with that Solar Blessing healing the minions up in the middle of that whirlpool, they're still not going to drop too quickly. So it was a couple rough matchups, plus that early game invade that kind of spelled defeat, kind of out of the gates for Return. So with that, guys, I think that's pretty much going to wrap this up for post-game commentary for game number 2. Eager brought it back 1-1 going forward. It's down to whoever wins this next one in the ace match for the finals of Week 6 of the North American Challenger Cup. We'll find out who goes home first place this week in just a bit, guys, so stick around and enjoy the music.